Welcome to Power Hour, where the editors of Powersports Business interview the movers and shakers of the powersports industry. Hi, everybody. It's Brendan Baker from Powersports Business with another Power Hour. And we've got a special guest. Ted Sherseth is the chairman and co-founder of the America's 911 Ride and America's 911 Foundation. The foundation is the ride is a fundraiser for the foundation, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So Ted, thanks for joining us. And I know through a mutual friend of ours, Ken Engelman had spoke highly of you, and I think he's going on this 9/11. Now this is a big one, right? The 25th
Correct.
anniversary. So there's going to be a lot of focus on. I've already watched a couple of documentaries. I've seen them, and of course, we all lived through it, or at least most of us that know of a certain age, we've all were there when it happened. But the aftermath and things, and the remembrances and all that. But tell me how this got started. You were, did you mean to start a foundation and an annual ride, or was this?
Lord, no. Lord, no. To bring it up from the beginning, in 2000, my wife and I did the Trail of Tears from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Waterloo, Alabama. So our goal was in 2001 was to go from North Carolina, Cherokee, North Carolina to Chattanooga to Waterloo, and then go on into Oklahoma. That was our goal. We were going to leave.
That was a Native American, like from
that
the
was
Trail of Tears. Yeah.
Cavalry took the Cherokee and basically did a death march with them.
Yeah.
Trying to phase them out. So that occurs. We were leaving on the 12th, and September 11th occurred, of course, on the 11th. I worked as a consultant for the government. They were like, nobody can go anywhere. You're stuck. Blah, blah, blah. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So my wife had watched the news. My kids had asked hundreds of questions. And she said, well, why don't you do a motorcycle ride to New York and do a fundraiser for the people in New York just to boost the economy? And she challenged me. So basically we reached out to all the radio stations that we could find and sent letters to the nearest, 10 Harley dealers and said, this is when we're doing it. My younger brother picked the date being November 10 and 11. It's Veterans Day weekend. And I looked at him and said, it snowed in 87 on Veterans Day. He goes, well, let's do it then. I can help you that day. So we left in front of the White House at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was like 25 degrees. And we rode into Manhattan, spent the night with Ben Campbell. He came with us, Senator Campbell. And we had Admiral Cohen, the Surgeon General of the United States Navy, and his entourage came on the ride. It was just basically to focus on New York. We went down on the 11th, 2 months after it occurred, and we placed 1,000 roses and a piece of coroplast, a 4x8 coroplast at Trinity Church.
Okay. How many people were on the ride with you for this first one? I mean, it was like
about 350 people, 250 motorcycles. So, and I mean, in the cold weather, the interesting part was there were stories of going to Mike's Famous in New Jersey because we stopped there for some hot dogs, and people were like, what are y'all doing? This is what we're doing. Can we go? Sure. Yeah. It's like, why not? So it grew as we went.
As you were rolling along through it.
It grew. There was no police escorts the first year other than the municipalities that I'd contacted and gone through to get from point A to point B. We, of course, wanted to be in New York a whole lot earlier than we got, but we got there. At the end of it, all we got were phone calls and emails saying, you got to do it again. You got to do it again.
Right.
We traveled to New York. They invited us up for New Year's Eve for the ball drop.
Oh, okay.
Cops on the street knew who we were and thanked us for coming.
Oh, wow.
And doing that for them and supporting that. And that's unique To have, you know what I
So
mean? You've been to New York twice in your life, once when you were a little kid, once when you're this age, and they know who you are.
and they remember who you are and know who
Right.
you are and the
And they were saying
significance.
thank you. So we
Yeah.
came back, we reorganized a little bit, said we've got to figure out some ways to do it. We got a couple cops from Leesburg, uh, Fairfax County came and did the whole ride the second year, and we came out of Somerset, Pennsylvania, where the plane crashed.
Right.
So we
Okay.
came from Somerset to Washington, then Washington to New York City,
How
and
many miles is that? Like what's
yeah,
the
it's about 250, 275 each day. It's 250 from Somerset to Washington and roughly 260, 275 to go to New York. And it,
from Washington? Yeah. Okay.
right. And it takes a day because you're not moving a motorcycle. You and I can go down the road at 65, 70,
Right.
and you add three more people, you're going to go 55, 65, and you add 100 more people, you're going to
Your
go a whole lot slower.
average speed and moving is like molasses is at that point. You're like
Well, we've learned a lot. We've learned, we started something called the pumper team in probably '03 on the third year, where we physically man the gas pumps. So you're not standing your motorcycle up, stretching your legs, reaching in to get a wallet, finding a key to your gas tank, pulling the pump off. We actually have people standing there with clipboards, and they're putting fuel in your bike, and you round up. So if it's $8.75, you give them nine. If
yeah.
it's $5 or $4.50, you give them five. And most people hand fives and tens, and then we offset the ambulance costs because we take ambulances with us. We have
Okay.
certified EMTs and ambulances. We have our own fire truck, and we carry, the lowest I think we've had is about 85 police officers, and the most was 225 on the 11-year anniversary. On the 10-year anniversary, we had
Oh wow.
225 motor officers from as far away as El Paso, Texas.
Wow. That's
Uh,
that's incredible.
yes,
So
we've had more to come. It's
what so explain, you mentioned earlier there were, you had some dealer involvement. What has the dealer involvement been like over the years, and what have they done? Who's been involved, and what does that look like on the dealer side?
on the dealer side. The starting locations are at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, roughly, and it's Battlefield Harley Davidson up there.
Yeah. Oh,
They
okay.
feed us a lunch, an early lunch, because we're out by 11. And
Yeah.
we travel to Somerset. And in Somerset, Pennsylvania, there is Highland Harley Davidson, and that's John and Karina. We come back. We used to stop in Frederick. That Harley Davidson dealer is gone. So
Right.
we stop at the prime outlets for food in Hagerstown, and then we come through Leesburg and go to Washington. When we get into New Jersey on Saturday, we have Liberty Harley Davidson and Barb's Harley Davidson. We get fed at Barb's, and Liberty
Okay.
comes out to Linden to service and do anything that needs to be done on the motorcycles of people that are traveling. One
Yeah.
thing we
So if
don't
there's
do is,
any maintenance or
yep,
issues that people need, yeah.
yep, simple fixes. We don't leave anybody behind. We've used Patriot in Fairfax County a handful of times where a motorcycle will break down between Somerset and Washington, and we start calling and we find the part, and the part is where. And kudos to Patriot. They have stayed there late to get bikes fixed
Wow.
and have them done. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
when
that's
Mike's was
awesome.
there, we would do that too. We would run bikes up to Mike's. If it was going to be a long fix, we'd run them up to Mike's on Friday and come back to the Pentagon and then pick it up on our way Saturday headed north.
So the logistics of this sound kind of nuts. I mean, so you're, because of your, and then you got to have like, right? You probably have to have a trailer or something in case somebody does break down and you need to haul them somewhere, right?
Right. We have multiple breakdown trailers.
Okay.
Baltimore Tunnel, long story short, a bike broke down in the Baltimore Tunnel and it was gone in 4.5 minutes. And they offered Eric a job for picking up or getting stuff out of the tunnel because they were not expecting that recovery that quickly. But we've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
And on this year coming up, we expect 700 motorcycles. You'll have 6 breakdown trailers.
Oh,
And
wow.
that, I mean, these are 2 and 4 banger trailers. So
Yeah.
you can handle what breaks down. And then these are 4-door trucks and support vehicles that follow. So you're not left on the side of the road. We take you to our next stop, or we take you to a dealership that can get you fixed, or we've taken people all the way to New York and then back to North Carolina.
Wow.
They
On the
wanted to do
trailer.
the whole trip.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what all's broken, but or maybe they need to stop at a dealer and buy a new bike so they can finish
We've
out the
had
ride
plenty of people buy new motorcycles on the
along the
ride.
way. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike's
So
used to love us.
this year is gonna, I mean, again, the 25th anniversary, there's so much going, things kind of involved around it. How do you fit into some of this I mean, I'm assuming that since you've done this for a long time, you've already got everything kind of lined up, but I mean, aren't there a lot of other people trying to get in on, oh, we're going to do this? Are there other people trying to do rides and things, or do they pretty much just go to your stuff?
Most people do local rides in their
Okay.
local communities, and they do it on September 11th. We do our ride in August.
Yeah.
New York, after our first ride, we met with the chief of police in New York in 2002, and he said, do not come here in September. And I said, I can't, I won't. I'm not going to impact people who are trying to get to a site to memorialize their parents were lost or their children were lost with a bunch of motorcycles getting in the way. So we all agreed to do it, and we're basically the third weekend in August, the third Saturday that comes up in August. It's
pretty,
warm.
It's still
well,
pretty
it's warm
close,
weather
and
if
it's
it
warmer.
rains. Yes, it's a whole lot warmer than November. New York has been gracious to us. I mean, we are in Midtown, just north of Times Square, and we get about 4 blocks that are closed off totally to just motorcycles and our entourage that goes. And so people from there go into Times Square, go see the things. The bikes are watched by private security in New York for us. They start 5 o'clock at night and quit at 6 in the morning.
I mean, you've got a lot of volunteers and that lend their time to do this, right?
There's dozens and dozens. You've got the pumper team, you have a parking team, you have breakdown crews, you have road captains, depends on the size of the ride, every 50 bikes to 100 bikes. So they let the people know. So the people in the back already know if somebody's broke down. They know what side of the road they're on. They know the size of the bike based on the trailer, you know what I mean? And how many people is it? Can you pick it up in a small truck and trailer? Or do you need a bigger truck with more people? Is it a trike? Those are fun to pick up when a trike breaks down.
Oh yeah, a trike is a lot different animal. I'm sure.
It's a whole lot
of tow truck.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more energy to push that up a ramp onto a trailer.
Right.
One of them has a winch, just in that case.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. So, and you're going to summer, you're hitting all these, I've been to Somerset, which was very powerful. It's actually where I'm at, fairly close. So I was in Northeast Ohio when that happened, and the plane that ended up in Somerset circled around where my in-laws lived in Chesterland, Ohio. Like they were calling it on the radio. That plane just turned around, and I'm like, oh my God, they're over my in-law. I'm like, what's going on? But it's to see all three of those things, all three sites like that, it's got to be a pretty powerful thing.
It's moving. A lot of people carry flags and fly it at each one of the locations.
Yeah.
We were blessed in 9, the National Park Service, New York City, the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon all allowed us to fly 100 burial flags on September 11th, 2009. And we started in the New York City at 1 o'clock in the morning, got to the Pentagon at 8, flew them at 8:39 because Obama showed up. We were supposed to fly him over here, but they moved us over there so we wouldn't impact his arrival and speech. And then went to Somerset, had dinner basically, and we had to wait until dark. The National Park Service said, we didn't understand what you were doing. We thought you were bringing little 3x5 flags, not 5x9.
Oh, you were bringing
Oh yeah, we flew those 5x9 flags in a drizzly rain, and it was a very quiet, awesome scene to see that. And there's some video of it. And one of the best pictures is they're folding it, and our requirements were everybody who touched them had to have white linen gloves. And all you see is this glove because it's dark and the flash picked up and bled blended out or blew out all the other color except for these pair of white gloves there. It was quite
Wow.
interesting.
So, in a lot of ways, it's like a respectful, almost like, the military, when they do like a military funeral or something, they get dressed up and wearing gloves and doing
Yes.
all the
Yes.
traditional, yeah.
Well, with the flags, we tried to fold them, and my wife and I folded probably 5 and got them to what I call 99% perfect. And a friend looked at me and said, "You got a friend that used to be in the old guard, the people that do the Tomb of the Unknown and stuff." So we took down the rest of those flags to the Tomb of the Unknown, and they folded them for us.
Oh, okay.
So then it was no question about it. They go, "You never get them perfect." And I'm like, "You know how many times I tried to get this one perfect and I gave up?" And he goes, "They're a burial flag is not a normal flag. It's different material. It weighs different. It looks different.
Oh, yeah. And the
It's
ones that go in the little, in the,
cases."
cases, yeah.
Yep.
My stepdad has one in the
Yeah,
case like
that's
that. And
looking from the Lincoln Memorial to across the 14th Street Bridge
okay.
there.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the site here just to show some of the images of what it looks like. So, and I imagine, like I said, that now what are you going to do, next year? I mean, you're going to continue doing
Oh
this
yes, yes.
for a while, right?
This is not a finish. You're our 26th ride out of Washington, but it'll continue. I mean, I
Yeah,
expect this to continue for a long period of time, and because of our commitment to this, and the object here is again, we support the first responders. We honor
yeah,
the ones that lost their lives that day, the people that went into that building to help and lost their lives,
yeah. There
did a lot
were,
to a lot of people. And if you attack my building where I live, it's part of my job to be there. But when you take out the first responders that are going there to help,
yeah. It's a
that's a different story and a different type of patronage
well,
that comes out.
those guys were definitely heroes. I mean, seeing when people were trying to get out of the building and all the firefighters were headed up to danger. Everyone
Right.
else was trying to leave it, and it seemed like they kind of knew, like, this is,
This
may
wasn't a
not,
good situation. Right.
right, but they were going in anyway,
Well,
and no one was stopping them.
we've met a lot of people who lost family members, and we met a gentleman who was on the 37th floor of Tower 2, and his story, when he speaks, you see the crowd there in New York. If he speaks, you can hear a pin drop
Oh,
because they want to
wow.
hear what he's saying. And I won't take away because we've asked him to come back to New York and speak in New York this year. When he speaks, it's very emotional the way he describes it because he's describing what's going on
Yeah.
and he knows it. And somebody found a video clip of him coming out of one of the buildings before they collapsed. And we met another gentleman who was downtown having breakfast, and the building got hit. And he's trying to figure out what's going on as the stuff's coming through the window. And he
Right.
starts running to the river. And he goes, "I was in Vietnam. I'm not scared of this." And as he
Yeah.
starts going up the hill, the building collapsed. So he goes, "If I would have done that earlier, I would have been dead."
Oh,
He
there,
wouldn't have
I'm
been
sure
there.
there's
So
so many stories where just fate and just, all that stuff kind of comes into play. You're like, man, if I would have done this or that, that would have been it,
right.
and
People don't understand the Secret Service were there with one of the presidential limousines because that was the weekend they were having the United Nations meeting and the
oh,
president was
okay.
coming up. So
Yeah.
it was actually in the garage and the gentleman perished, of course, in that.
Oh,
You lost an
the
FBI
Secret Service.
agent.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Did not
So it
know that.
this affected a lot of people and a lot of different organizations, not just New York. And the
Right.
Pentagon,
Oh,
of course,
yes.
affected every branch of the military there.
Right. Yeah. The military, all the first responders. And I think we're still uncovering things that it affected in a lot of ways, and you're still kind of, there's still a lot of reverberations from all that. But
Well, your security at the airport changed. The way
well,
you
that,
used to get on and off a plane, what you
and it's weird when
knew.
you watch like an old episode of Seinfeld and you're like they go to the airport and there's no security there. You're like, wow, You
Right.
almost forget how that changed all of that stuff for us.
Yep.
And one other thing I want to mention too is just like how, a big reason I wanted to do this was just because, well, A, being the 25th anniversary, but just to showcase how motorcyclists and people in the ride are just so generous with,
They are. They
they're
are.
the most generous group of people I think that I've ever seen, in terms of like they'll go on, and a lot of it is, yeah, they do want to ride, but it's for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they want to ride and do something that's positive, which I think is very admirable.
Well, the whole purpose of this again is to support our first responders, fire, police, and EMS. And we do is we raise college scholarships from the funds that people pay to participate. And so far, we've given out a little over 366. I think it's 366 scholarships totaling almost $700,000. And that's
Wow.
just from a
Yeah.
motorcycle ride. Each year, we've given away 25 FLHPIs, which is a Harley police motorcycle. That's what 90% of them drive.
Yeah.
And we give one away to a escorting department.
Okay.
That was one of the cops' ideas, is like, give them a motorcycle. That'll make them
Oh,
come.
sure.
And yeah, we got more coming. And the sad part is Harley's given us one in 25 years. We've bought the rest of them.
You bought the rest of them
We bought the
yourself?
rest of them. And we bought them from multiple dealers, but we typically go to Highland now. A, it's a starting point. B, because the colors are now different, departments are running black, white, deep
Yeah.
blue, blue and white. We don't order them anymore because we ordered a black one, and of course the people that wanted had a white bike, and the next year you have a black bike, and the people that wanted had a white bike, and we tried to do the presentation on Fox and Friends on Sunday morning, and so now we still do a presentation, but the bike has been ordered at once we know
They
who the
get to
department is.
choose the
Yeah, we know
color
what to do.
that they want
Exactly.
and everything. Yeah.
Well, and we've got
I mean,
some departments that want higher. They want more. What do you call it? They want a bigger engine than the standard FLHDPI engine.
right,
And,
right.
and it was like, really? And they go, yeah, it costs like $3,000 more when you build a bike. And I'm like, we didn't even know that option existed. So now we have all these flavors we can add to it.
Okay. Well, I would think that Harley, maybe they need to step up a little. Maybe with the new CEO, that'll be something that they can look into. But
Sure. Sure.
you know,
90% of the riders, I'd say 85% of the riders are Harley. And we have all those
yeah,
statistics probably for the last 15 years. But you hear them coming is what you hear. And as you can see, there's nobody else on the street. When you see the picture of the bridge, that's a Delaware Memorial Bridge, i.e. I-95 going from Delaware to New Jersey, and there's not a soul on it.
wow,
When we come out of the Maryland house, I will go a half a mile up the road to take some photographs, and so will a few other people. It's eerie, and we've gotten the Maryland State Police. They know what to do. Now, that's the Delaware Memorial Bridge you see there, and there's nobody on it but
yeah.
us.
And normally it's like packed, right?
Normally on a Saturday, that's packed.
Yeah,
That's freaking car to car to car to car. You're not wiggling
bumper
in
to
and out
bumper.
without. Right. And behind us, the backwash is tremendous, I'm sure. I haven't had to deal with that yet. But when you come out of the Maryland house, it's a sight to see because the cars going southbound see nothing on the road. So they know there's some accident. And we've gotten the Maryland State Police have actually stepped up, and they put cars on the southbound side to slow the traffic down, seeing the officers.
Right.
And that way they're not doing it because the cars automatically start looking at all these cops coming up the road.
They start rubbernecking,
and
right?
No, rubbernecking, they start running into each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're looking at the bikes. They're not looking at the car in front of them who's looking at the bikes. And
right.
They've let off the gas, but you haven't.
Yeah.
It's a challenge to get them from point A to B contiguous. And the biggest ride had 1,900 motorcycles dealing with 3,000 people.
That's a lot. That's
45 minutes of nobody on the road but us. And Maryland and we in the state of Virginia came together and said, I couldn't manage that.
Yeah.
I needed to stop
Just getting through
you for lunch.
intersections and
Right.
stuff like that is almost
Logistics was crazy. It was, I've got to potty you, fuel you, feed you, and move you. And we've got timelines to make to get into Washington, D.C. area on a Friday night. So there's all kinds of deadlines that I have to meet the criteria. And Dulles Airport was our biggest push, saying the minute traffic can't get to the airport to get to it, you're done. Because we actually go right beside Dulles Airport in Washington.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So now, are you riding yourself, or are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. The bike for the first year I rode was on a lowrider.
Okay.
And the wife allowed me to buy a new bike, so I bought a 100-year anniversary Ultra FLHTP, AFLHTCUI, FLHCUI, an Ultra. It was black and silver, but we painted it red, white, and blue, and we went, I won't say nuts, but we painted 417 names on the back of the bike, and those are the first responders that answered the call that day.
Okay.
And died in that building trying to help others.
So
and
it
that
was
bike,
like I know it was like paramedics. I thought there were like 300, maybe over 100 police officers.
Well, there's 343 firemen.
Okay.
There's 26 Port Authority, and I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. If I turn around and look at a board, I can. We've actually made a patch this year that has it identified, but that bike was accepted into the World Trade Center Museum in 2018.
Oh, wow.
Interesting enough, they said it would be on display for 2 years, then it would go in storage for a while. It's been on display since 2018. It's never come off.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Which is, people are like, your bike is still here. It's.
Will you be then doing the bike giveaway again on Fox and Friends this year, or is
yes,
that?
Sir.
Okay.
Yep. Nope. That's Sunday morning, typically about 7:00 on Sunday morning. They start lining up in Manhattan to go down to the World Trade Center. The departure time is 8:00, I believe, to have a 9:00 service. We used to come in we stop in Linden, New Jersey. Applebee's, Home Depot feeds us. And then New Jersey cleans out the tunnels. They get the highway ready for us, and we roll down the highway. And we used to go to the World Trade Center on Saturday night. The Barclay building was on fire in 2007 or 8. And they called us and said, you're not going to be able to go here. We've got the Barclay Towers right next to the World Trade Center on fire, and you're going to have to go to the hotels. So from that point on, New York has assisted us. So we go straight to the hotels. People can get into their hotels and go enjoy the evening. And then Sunday morning, we start and go down to the World Trade Center for the
ride out real early that way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's really no traffic on East-West Highway at 8:00 in the morning with 300 or 400, 700. Yeah, on a 700 motorcycles coming at you.
They kind of move out of the way.
Well, and we have enough escorts and enough New York City police that take care of the intersections and get us down to the next point where we have to go. And then from there, they disperse. Go ahead.
Which is the most challenging one to do, the New York or one of the other, like the Pentagon or Somerset? I mean, Somerset's a small place, so
Somerset's small. It's really interesting because you can leave Somerset and it's 45, 50 degrees in the morning when we leave, because we leave at 6:50 in the morning. It's cold. You're coming through the mountains. You got cows and pasture all over the place. You get out in Cumberland. It's a little bit warmer, and then you hit Super Slab from there to Hagerstown, and it's warmed up. And now you're headed down through Leesburg. Cumberland comes out. And if you want to see America, if you're a biker and you want to see America and what America remembers from this, you need to come, because Cumberland comes out at 8:45 in the morning and starts lining up. Leesburg starts lining up, and we have a deadline to get there. So our goal is to hit the Virginia state line at 1:45, puts us in Leesburg at 2:00. From there, we are on the Greenway going by the Dulles Airport, and then we pick up the pace some. Now we're in heavy traffic, which is separated for us, but it's a challenge to keep it back and keep it coordinated. We go down to the Pentagon and we stay at the DoubleTree next to the Pentagon. Saturday morning, you leave there. We go into DC, go through by the Lincoln Memorial, the White House, the Capitol building, back up onto the BW Parkway, up 95. We go through Linden, Todd Beamer's, Hightstown, New Jersey, and you go into Barb's Harley Davidson, which is in Mount Ephraim.
Okay.
And these are all small towns that come out, and you will be moved by Cumberland, Leesburg, Hightstown. There's kind of a competition to see how much equipment, how many people they have for us.
Yeah.
And we've been asked to go other places, but because we've got timelines and deadlines, you can't, if you're going 45, I can't go down to 15 mile an hour for 7 minutes to try and do that, because you can't go right back up to 45. It's an increase of a very 5 miles an hour. Every 5 minutes you'll increase, because you've got to get the back of the rack up to speed first, so you don't get that slinky effect.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem we try and adjust, because we don't want people doing 100 in the back and people in the front doing 45. We want everybody pushing 45.
Yeah.
So the back of the ride has communications with the front. Hartford County Sheriff's Office is now running the ride as far as escorts, and they have motors in the back. Charlottesville, University of Virginia, Charlottesville, Albemarle County is in the back, making sure everything's cool and running escort for the broken down bikes should they need something.
Yeah. I mean, you have so much logistics involved, but it's cool because you have, like you said, going through all these little towns. They're coming out in force to see you and to help guide you through their town, but also to, cheer you on as well. So,
well, it's the remembrance part of it. This is our Pearl Harbor. And it didn't affect 90% of North America. This is going through cities and towns that were affected. I mean, you leave the Highland Harley Davidson at 7 a.m. in the morning, and there are people standing out there in the fog.
They all remember. They were all there. They were all,
Yes. Yeah. Well, you've got kids, you've got schools, you've got all of this that come out to see it. It's a moving event. We've tried to get Fox to come do it as the ride. And you're talking about a lot of logistics, because you're not sitting still somewhere, you're moving.
Right. Yeah. To film all that. But you would think, they could get somebody, who they got to get somebody on a bike and have put a GoPro on them or something. And
right.
Film.
But we've had plenty of those. And when the GoPros came out, it was fun, because people are like, "Can I get up front? I've got a GoPro." And the guy looks at him and goes, "So does everybody here."
Right.
Everybody here has a GoPro.
Right. I would imagine over the years that stuff has changed, because now GoPros, everybody's got a GoPro on, and and communications devices and things like that. So
that was one of our biggest challenges, was communication. We worked with Verizon, we worked with Motorola. Going through the hills of Pennsylvania, nothing works, because you don't have towers, you don't have anything. So you do the road captain to road captain echoing back seems to be the way to communicate that way. Once you're on Super Slab or on 95.
Can you use one of those like mesh communication systems where it's, I guess they're all kind of linked in a chain, but they say they go up to like a mile and a half. I don't know. I've never tested that for sure, but
our longest ride, we've been in the state of New Jersey on mile marker 7, and a cop pulled up beside me and said, "I want to congratulate you." I said, "What's that?" "You have the world record for longest motorcycle ride." I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, "You still got 2 miles of people in Maryland, and you're in New Jersey, which means you take all of the state of Delaware, and you've still got people in Maryland and people are in New Jersey." Wow. And I'm like, holy crap, we're in trouble. And he's like, "No, man." But Delaware State Police support New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania. It's just, we go through 7 jurisdictions if you want to have the fun with it.
And they're all honoring their own in a lot of ways, these first reads. So it means something extra special, I think, even to them, to be able to contribute. So, and I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for doing what you do with this ride. I think it's very important, and I think, to be able to doing it for as long as you have, and really getting it, now to this 25th this big anniversary. It's not like this is your first ride. You've been doing this a long time. So, it's pretty cool to see, and best of luck to you. And,
Thank you, sir.
we hope to see you for many more. And I know Ken's going to get out and ride with you guys, and, maybe someday I'll be able to get out there and do it. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Appreciate it so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you like this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. We also invite you to connect with us on powersportsbusiness.com.